The SM-70, Split-Termin Modell 1970, was an East German directional antipersonnel mine developed specifically to combat Republikflucht, defection, across the inner German border, Grenz, into West Germany. Design. First fielded in 1970, the mines were cone-shaped, tripwire activated, and mounted to concrete posts along the line of climb-resistant prefabricated steel mesh fence. In some cases, they were mounted directly to the fence itself. They were aimed parallel with the fence line, and intended to kill or incapacitate anyone attempting to climb or cut through the fence. Service. Beginning in late 1970, approximately 60,000 SM-70s were installed on 440 kilometers, 273 miles, of particularly escape-prone rural sections of the East German border. Installation of the mines cost 100,000 East German marks per kilometer, for a total cost of over 44 million marks. The mines were not used on the Berlin Wall. Initial plans called for the SM-70 to completely replace the buried PMN anti-personnel mines along the border, but initial problems with the electrical firing devices after exposure to the elements actually resulted in more PMN mines being emplaced as a stopgap measure. When fired, the SM-70 produced a cone of fire lethal within 25 meters, 82 feet. One East German described finding a deer shredded by an SM-70, noting that a 5m area appeared as if it had been worked over by a rake. Although referred to within the border guards by the National People's Army designation G501, for propaganda purposes the mines were referred to as automatic firing devices, German, Selbstschussanlage, in public documents. The cryptic description led to the public perception that the mine was a type of automated sentry gun, rather than a simple static trip mine, a misconception shared even with Western intelligence agencies. In fact, no such technology existed during the lifespan of East Germany, and the mine was actually more similar in capability to an oversized spring gun, but the rumors provided an additional psychological deterrent to would-be border crossers. From 1973 onward, the mines were enclosed in a plastic box housing for protection from the elements, further concealing their design from onlookers. Oversensitivity of the tripwires proved to be a vexing challenge throughout the service life of the SM-70. The wires proved sensitive enough to trigger the mines if a bird rested on the wire, resulting in a large number of accidental detonations in early deployment. This led to an inert bird wire being strung slightly above the first actual tripwire to give the birds something to rest on without risking a discharge. This proved only somewhat effective, as the mines still regularly suffered unintentional detonations due to heavy winds, deer and other animals, snow and ice accumulation, falling tree branches, bramble overgrowth, and rock-throwing West Germans. Michael Gartenschlager. The true nature and purpose of the SM-70 was eventually determined after Hamburg resident and former East German political prisoner Michael Gartenschlager, who had led a party of 6 defectors in a successful escape across the border in 1971, successfully infiltrated the border defences near Buchen on March 30, 1976, dismantled a live SM-70 from its mount, and returned safely to present the mine to West German authorities for inspection. Against official advice, Gartenschlager made a second successful trip to the same section of fence on April 23 and retrieved another live SM-70. The event made West German newspapers, and tipped off the border guards that the sector was being targeted for sabotage. A special 29-member task force was assembled to prepare concealed firing positions in the area and set up an ambush for the culprit. On May 1, 1976, as Gartenschlager was climbing over the East German fence for his third attempt, he was captured in the beam of a searchlight and blown off his ladder by a burst of automatic gunfire. There was no request for surrender. Following the recovery and analysis of the intact SM-70 in 1976, international public outcry led to diplomatic protests with the East German government. When the hard currency-starved GDR approached the West for a loosening of relations in exchange for trade, the sole sticking point in the West German platform was the removal of the SM-70. This suited the GDR as well, since Erich Honecker saw the SM-70 as troublesome, expensive, and bad for the GDR's image, and intended to remove them shortly anyway, along with the rest of the buried mines, when he implemented his plan for a fully electronic border defense grid, Grenz 2000. Honecker's plan eventually fell through due to lack of funding, but the SM-70 continued to be removed as per the agreement, being replaced with extra buried PMN mines, which remained in place until the fall of East Germany in 1989. Type directional anti-personnel mine. Place of origin East Germany. Service history. In service 1970–1984. Used by East Germany. Wars Cold War. Production history. No built 60,000. Specifications. Weight 191 grams. Length 350 mm. Diameter 150 mm. Effective firing range 25 m. Maximum firing range 120 m. Filling 110 grams TNT explosive. 80 steel cube projectiles. Detonation. Mechanism. Tripwire initiated. N172, pull or tension release.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.